For another, they're extremely rare. In fact, our next case is so unusual, it's bizarre. This is Cowdenbeath in Fife.
We had seen the place advertised and put in a bid and successfully got the house. We didn't move in until about September, early September. We planned for about 6 months before the move-in date, all the things we would do to it, and it was like our dream home. The clock had been given as a Christmas gift 1 year after we'd been married from our daughter Linda and our son-in-law Jim. So it was a prized possession that it stood in pride of place on the mantelpiece below June's portrait.
Just round the corner from the Mathis home is an industrial estate.
Who's in charge here?
I'm in charge.
Oh, well, we've been doing some tarmacking down the road, and we got some left over. And we noticed you got some potholes here that need filling, and we're wondering would you like us to do it for you?
So what are you for that?
15 quid.
Right, okay.
The full squad struck me definitely as us travelling people, more from the gypsy side. Had an English accent, and it said he'd been in Worcester area.
Right, that's about the size of it then. That's £1,650 to be. Boy told me it was going to be £15. Yeah, 15 quid a square metre. Oh, I can't afford that. Hey, hang on, you can afford it. You've got a thriving business here. So if you want your business to thrive some more, you'll pay up, okay? What are you going to do that? I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'm getting my bloody money's worth out of this place one way or another, so you better pay up, mate, okay?
At that point, I took that to mean that he was going to smash the place up over me. So we paid the money, and away he went. But it was just more or less to get them off the yard.
1 week later, on a Friday afternoon, June Mathis was finishing work at her pub, about 5 minutes from her house.
Nice me getting off now, Linda. I'll see you tonight. Where? Cheerio.
She would have been at her home when this man was driving down her street.
From the Perth Road, I pulled into Lochgelly Drive at about 4:45, heading up towards my house, and I noticed the white van parked on the corner of Glenfield Drive. It was half on, half off the path, which was a bit weird.
Guy Mathis works in the oil industry and was looking forward to the weekend off.
When I left work that evening, a lot of work had been done to the house, so the tiler had been in to finish tiling the kitchen, which was one of the very last things that was being done to the house, so it had just about reached the completion stage, and I was thinking, God, when I get home I'll look at the tiles and that'll be virtually us, finished and completed our dream home.
It was about 6:15 on a Friday evening. I was driving down Glenfield Road. When I turned the corner, I saw someone standing on the pavement. When I glanced, I thought it was a man standing still for no apparent reason. I thought it was strange. It was dark and there wasn't any bus stop nearby.
Hello, June. Mom.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Where's your safe? Where's your safe?
There's no safe.
Kept on about 2 safes, and I said, there's definitely no safes in the house.
Well, I know June and Guy Mathis quite well after doing work in the house, and it just so happened that I was passing what I seen a red Escort, which had been reversed into the driveway. It was a Jai or a K-Rage. I don't know any part of the family that's got a car like that.
Don't look. Don't look.
June and Guy's ordeal was to last an hour, and we only hint at the violence that was used. But June kept her head and made a mental note of details, like the breech of one of the 3 guns.
Down, come on up.
It had sort of brass fancy bit on the top.
Around 7 o'clock, at the corner, I noticed a white transit in June's Drive. I thought this was a bit funny because it's not the sort of van you would see in June's Drive.
Have I had enough of you too? Right, come back. See you in a minute.
inside.
Yes, hello? Is that the police? What was stolen was chiefly of sentimental value. Some jewellery, for instance, which had belonged to June's sister, who'd died the year before.
We had her jewellery, and her jewellery was to go to the grandchildren. You know, I could always look at it and say, well, this was June. So it seems to...
That's all you had to remember her by.
People that comes into homes with guns should be stopped. I don't know, it shouldn't be.
One of the thoughts that crossed my mind during the thing was, what if our daughter or son came with the grandchildren while all this was happening? What would have happened then to those people? Would they have been snatched, the grandchildren? And that's a frightening thought.
Cowdenbeath, obviously the first thing you've got to do is eliminate these three tarmackers who were there the week before.
Yes, that's correct.
What can you tell us about them?
We have a description of the three men. The first man, he was 20 years of age, 5'8" tall, fair hair, and he was heavy build. The second man was mid to late 30s, 6 foot tall, black hair, stout build, and he had a short moustache and beard. The third man was mid-30s, 5 foot 10 inches tall, blonde hair, and was medium build.
Okay, they all had North of England accents, I gather, and of course they may or may not be connected with the robbery. You need to find out who they were. They did have a Ford Transit van, a white Ford Transit. We know that a white Ford Transit and a red Ford Escort were involved in the robbery. There was no safe at that house, though, ever, was there?
No, there's never ever been a safe in that house.
Tough information. What they took was of tremendous sentimental value. This is a reproduction of the Ormolu clock that was stolen. Tell us about the watches. Is there anything distinctive about them?
Raymond Veal watches, a ladies and gents watch. These are exact replicas of the watches that were stolen from the house.
Well, if anybody offers you watches like those, or this sort of reproduction Ormolu clock, please call the police. If you know anything about this or recognise any of those three men, the number here in the studio is 081818181, 081818181, or you can contact the Fife Incident Room direct. The number there is 0592 52611. That's 0592, the code for Kirkcaldy, 52611.